know it's been a while, but I'm back. And we're gonna make this Dino Nugget plate. So everything in here is made out of foam clay. I mean, I did add some things to like give this texture and everything, but mainly everything is made with air dry foam clay. Air dry foam clay is very cheap. You could get a lot of it and you can make a lot of different things with it. And that's what I've been using like the last couple of years, is just air dry foam clay to create what I create. Like, if I might use Model Magic every once in a while, but it's very rare. So anyways, I'm gonna start with the peas and carrots. No, I'm gonna start with the Dino Nuggets because that takes a little bit longer. Okay, so I found these trays at Dollar General. They were $1. They came in a couple of colors like yellow, blue. They had like 4 different colors, but I got these 2 colors. So I don't need this right now. We're gonna just do the Dino Nuggets. Now, I already cut out my Dino Nuggets, but I'm gonna show you the cutters. These are the cutters I got, and these Dino Nuggets are 2.5 inches large. I got these cutters from Evie Danae Creation. She's on Facebook. I will leave her a link down below if you want to get these. Now, she makes them in different sizes. I think 2.5 inches. I think I got them in a 1.5, like small ones, if like you wanted to make little earrings or dangles and things like that. Then I got them in 3.5 inches, and then I got it in this 2.5 inches, which I think is like a good size for like real Dino Nuggets, right? So I used brown clay, and I used some of this brown clay. I mean, this is like a cookie dough color. I used this color, and I did use like a brown clay to cut out my nuggets. Okay, now I got this clay from Designs by Yanita. She's also on Facebook. Her clay is reasonably priced. If you want to get you some from her, I'll leave her information down below. Okay, so I already cut out some of the dot because I wanted to spare, save some time. But when you use these cutters, you want to get you a brush, and you want to put like some baby oil or something on the inside just to help release the dough. The clay, not the dough, the clay. Okay, it comes out very easily. And if you make a mistake and say you take it out and it gets squashed or whatever, don't stress it, because you're gonna cover this with sand. That's our magic ingredient for the nuggets, is sand. So don't stress yourself out if they don't come out perfect. Let me see if I find one that I squashed. I'm trying to see if I find one that I squashed. Like this one, I kind of squashed it when I was pulling it out of the cookie cutter, and all I did was like reform it and stuff, because nobody's gonna see this. Nobody's gonna see this part because it's gonna be covered up. Okay, now when you cut out your Dino Nuggets, also, before I go on, there's also a mold. If you don't want to use a cutout because you're scared of using the cookie cutters, or you don't want to use the clay with cookie cutters and things like that, I get it. There's a mold on Amazon. Is I think it's just like to make ice cubes and stuff, but it's Dino Nugget. It looks like Dino Nuggets. I'll link that down below as well if you just want to make a mold and then use the rest of the techniques that I'm going to show you today to make your Dino Nugget look real. You see this one? I smashed it up right here too, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's going to be covered up. So now when you cut out your Dino Nuggets, you want to let them dry a whole day. Like, put them aside and just let them dry. Okay? Now, you're going to stick a toothpick in the Dino Nugget, because when you put the glue in the sand, you want it to be like standing up. You don't want to lay it down because you want the glue to dry on the other side. If you're making like earrings or key rings or something like that, you want to let the other side dry. For this purpose of making this Dino Nugget plate, I'm not putting sand or anything on this side because I'm going to glue it to my plate like how I did here. I just glued it down, so there's nothing on the other side. Only put the sand on this side so it could glue nice down nicely, and it's not gonna pop off or anything like that. Okay, so you're gonna take your Dino Nugget, and now you don't want to put the hole somewhere where you could see it, because you're gonna have this toothpick in here for a while, because this gonna be done in layers. Okay, because I don't want the sand to come off or anything like that, so I'm gonna do it in layers, and I figured out a way that works good for me, so I'm gonna share that with you. I've seen other people do it, and they only put like one layer. They put the sand, and then they put a layer of they put the glue, they put the sand, and then they paint it, and then they just like leave it. But I'm gonna make sure that these Dino Nuggets never come apart, and they're gonna last a long time. So now you're gonna take your toothpick. Like, I would even use like a really slim piece of wire, but it has to be like a heavy duty wire, because you want your hole to be kind of towards the back. You don't want it to be towards the front, because then if you make a hole right here and then you put it down, or if you put it on the key ring, you can see that hole. Of course, you can fill the hole up after you're done. But honestly, when I'm done with all the layers and everything, I don't want to go back and fill up holes. So I'm just going to take my toothpick, and I'm going to put it right on the edge of this dino leg and go up. Now make sure you go in pretty high, because you're going to need this to be stable, because you're going to be putting glue, you're going to be putting sand, and you don't want the toothpick to be moving around and being like a pain. So you're just going to take that, and I'm going to do the same thing on this Dino Nugget. I'm just going to take it and put it like right on the edge and just go straight in. Now don't go all the way out, but you want it so that the Dino Nugget doesn't twirl or do anything like that. Okay, all right, so now we're going to move on to the next step. So when I'm going to get a piece of like, look at your craft paper. I already used the inside. It looks ugly and terrible, so I'm going to use this side. So here go my nuggets that I have on toothpicks. Okay, now I'm going to use one of these. I recommend these brushes from Plaid. Now you can use any brush you want, all right, but sometimes when you use like a regular paintbrush, they get gunky and they get nasty, and these will too. But these are made for glue, and you know, say you forget that you didn't wash it after you used it. Here's a tip for you: get you a little cup. Now make sure it's like a glass cup or a plastic cup. Well, I would prefer like glass. Get a little glass cup that you're not going to use for anything else. Put some 100% acetone in it. Like, say you forget to wash this and it dries out and it's hard. Put your brush in the acetone and tap it like that, and tap it, you know, like, and the acetone is going to help you get your your brush back to a usable state. Trust me, I've done it a couple of times. I forget. I said, I put it right there, and I said, oh, I'm not going to forget. I got to wash that. And then I go, walk away. Then the next day I come, and my brush is covered in paint. In glue. And then I'm like, ugh. 100% acetone. Dip it in your acetone. It works for paint too. If you use your paintbrush and you forget to wash it, get you some acetone. Dip it in there. Move it around. Now don't leave your brush in the acetone, because acetone is strong. It will eat up your fibers. If you leave it in there, you might come back to just this part. Anyways, I'm gonna get some This is Aleene's tacky glue in here. I just use this bottle. I just refill it over and over because it's small and I don't want to be using a big bottle. Okay, now let's talk about the sand. So the sand is a coarse sand. I didn't try doing it with regular sand. I mean, I'm guessing it will work, but the coarse sand makes it look more realistic. Okay, so this coarse sand I found at Dollar Tree, but I found it a long time ago, and I went recently looking for it, and I didn't really see anything, but I only went to like 2 stores. But if you go to the section where they have their fake plants and fake flowers and stuff like that, where they have the marbles and the rocks, you'll find sand. So if you see the sand, just buy it. You get a nice big bag. But if you don't see the sand, you can buy this coarse sand at Hobby Lobby. I don't know if they have it at Michael's, but I know they have coarse sand at Hobby Lobby, and you can also get it online at Amazon. If I find a link to the Amazon store, I will leave it, but I prefer to use the coarse sand. Okay, and you might want to put it in like a bowl or a container like this, because you're gonna like dip your, well, we're gonna coat it, but we're gonna dip the edges, make sure we get them all nice and coated and everything. Okay, but we're gonna do that in a minute. For right now, I'm going to show you how I'm only gonna do one. I'll show you how I coat my my Dino Nugget. So I like to put the glue all over. Like I start even like right here, because you know what? If you don't cover this good, you're gonna have bald spots, and then you gotta go back and put more glue. And honestly, I don't want to do that. I kind of want to get it over with at once. And you want to put a nice layer, okay? Like, don't make it too thick where the sand falls off, but you want it thick enough that the sand will stick on. And make sure you get all into those little crevices and stuff like that. Now take your time and go and cover. And when you doing this, brush down, so your toothpick, if you brush that way, your toothpick is gonna come off of your Dino Nugget. So brush down like that. And let me tell you how I know that, because it's happened to me. Just brush down, make sure you got everything nice and covered. Then you're gonna take your sand and you're gonna cover your Dino Nugget. Okay. Now this video might be a little long, but that's only because I want to show you exactly what I do and how I do it. So now you see, when you do this, you might get some little bald spots. Now remember I said don't worry about the back. So you take your sand, put it in a little corner and start tapping. Make sure you get all those little crevices. Take your Dino Nugget, dip it in there, smash it down. Oh, I forgot we're not doing that side. But if you're going to make earrings or key rings, you need to do both sides, okay? Now make sure you get the bottom and smash it down. You don't really want to see any of the brown, but if you do, it's okay. See, and now your Dino Nugget is covered. You see your Dino Nugget? Let's move this out the way so you can see your Dino Nugget is nicely covered. Now you gotta let this dry for I'll say overnight. So I take it and I put it in a piece of styrofoam and I put it to the side. Now once that's dry, you are going to take your Dino Nugget, because some of the sand is still going to be loose. I'm trying to see if I have one. I don't. And when you go paint it, you could possibly wipe off some of the sand, and we don't want that, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to get you some Mod Podge, and you're going to, I got matte Mod Podge, and you're going to cover this up the same way how I put the glue. Make sure you put all the Mod Podge all over, and now your sand is not going to like fall off, okay? It's stuck on there for good. So now you're gonna let that dry. When you put the Mod Podge on it, you're gonna let that dry again. That's why I said it's in layers. It's gonna take time to make these nuggets, but the end product is very nice and stable. You're gonna know that none of the sand is gonna come off, none of the color is gonna come off, and it's gonna be like a good product if you wanted to like make keychains or earrings, or you want to make a dino nugget for your grandkids book bag or whatever. Okay, I want to make sure that none of this sand or the color or anything comes off. Okay, so now I already put Mod Podge on this and it dry. So now we're gonna get to the coloring part of the Dino Nugget. So now I have a very old hold on, let me move some of this stuff around here. I have a very old palette. I got this palette at a garage sale, but again, you can go on Amazon. They have plenty of, wait, I'm squashing my little nugget over here. They have plenty of palettes that you could use to color your nugget. I did not use paint because I could have probably dry brushed it or something like that, but I didn't want to take the chance of the paint. Like, because you know when you paint, paint gets into all the crevices and everything, and I didn't want that because I wanted to have a realistic look. So I'm gonna use what are these paints called? Sugar chalk pastels. Ooh, I'm gonna use chalk pastels on my nugget. Okay, so this is a makeup brush. I got this makeup brush from is a Wet n Wild makeup brush from Dollar Tree. I like it because it's small but it's thick and it holds paint and it rubs off pretty good. Okay, so now you can also use makeup, powdered makeup from Dollar Tree. Sometimes they even have a kit that just has all these brown colors, which is the only colors we're going to use right now. These brown colors right here. Okay, I'm basically going to stick to this color, right? These two colors right here. And you're just going to dab it. Now it's going to take a while for the colors to, you know, get on there. But that's okay. Just take your time. As you can see, it's not like that hard. It's already starting to color. That's why I wanted to do the nugget first, because it, like I said, you got to do it in layers. Okay, now if you wanted to use a darker color, say you don't have that color, girl, use what you have. Use what you have. Okay, now you're gonna make sure that you, I'm gonna continue with this color. You dab the edges, and then I'm gonna show you the difference between the chalk pastel one and the one that don't have any chalk pastel on it. Now you're gonna take your time and do this part. Okay, make sure you covered up all the sand. You really don't want to see any original sand. Of course you're gonna see one here and there, and some of the sand has like a little bit of a shine to it, and it's gonna even see through when you do the when you put the next layer of Mod Podge, and that's fine. I like to use a combination of the colors. I only use this at the end to make it look like baked. And alright, so now I'm gonna go in here with get the like a little bit of the red, okay, because that's what's gonna really make it look like a nugget. Like I said, I didn't try to use it with paint. I should have given it a little try, but I didn't, because I already had like a technique in my mind, and when I used it, it worked, so I'm just sticking with that. But if you want to try it with paint, you know what, I'm gonna try it with paint. I don't think it's gonna look as good as like with the chalk pastels. And just go around and round and round and round. And I'm gonna show you in a minute how it's going to look against one that didn't have any chalk pastel on it. Okay, now you could go back and look at it and see if you find like you feel like it need more color, and then you just go and you put more color. So like I said, this is a process. It's not gonna be like done like, I'll say it takes like 2 days at least. The Mod Podge really dries fast. It's the glue and the sand you have to like make sure it dries really good, because that's the main part, you know. Okay, so I like to take my little bit of listen, I use up all of that, you know what I'm saying? That let's not let that go to waste. Let's go. Now a little bit of sand might come off, but not as much as if you don't put the Mod Podge. Trust me, I tried it, and the Mod Podge was flying here and there, and it was really getting on my nerves. So I said, did I say Mod Podge? I meant the sand was coming off, so I said, let me try the Mod. So now I'm going to take some of this brown, and I'm just going to go like on the edge. You know, to make it look like it was cooking, baking in the oven. And just put a little bit on the side like that. Now that's one, right? Okay, this is how we started the nugget, and this is how it looks. You see the difference? And that's just chalk pastels. That's all I used on that, okay? But like I said, let's pick up this little bit of and now I'm just gonna do one nugget, because there's no point in just like doing the nuggets over and over and over. So now once you get to this part, you are going, now let this sit for a while. I'll say like 15-20 minutes, because the powder does need to settle. Like if you don't want to Mod Podge it after this, it's fine. But I don't know if this is gonna rub off or not. I'm not sure. I did not try that, okay? But I don't want to know if it's gonna come off or not, and I want to be sure that it doesn't come off. So I'm gonna Mod Podge it one more time. It's gonna look like this Dino Nugget. I had it for a while. Let's see if it rubs off. Well, that's not a good finger. It didn't rub off. This doesn't have Mod Podge on it, and it did not rub off. But I let this sit for like 3 days. Okay, so I don't know. That's totally up to you whether you want to let the Mod Podge. But now this one, I did put Mod Podge on it. No, you know what? I'm lying. I didn't put Mod Podge on these. You know which one I put Mod Podge on? The second time was when I make a key ring or earrings. So like these, you see these? Because these are key rings, I Mod Podged it after I put the color on, because I don't want the color to rub off, because it's going to be swinging on keys, and it's going to be swinging against pocketbooks and book bags and stuff like that. So I didn't want it to come off. So these do have Mod Podge after I put the chalk pastel on it, okay? But not these, because they're going to go on my plate, and nobody's going to be touching or rubbing up on this, okay? So now I'm going to take it off my toothpick. Now you see it has a little hole in there. They all have little holes in it, but these are towards the back, so nobody's going to see that. Nobody's gonna see that when I put it on my plate. So now you're gonna take your little nuggets. I'm not gonna put the nuggets on the tray just yet, because now we're gonna move on to the macaroni and cheese. We've done macaroni and cheese before, and I did macaroni and cheese. I'm just moving some things around. I made macaroni and cheese for our Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys remember the Thanksgiving plate I made, but let's move these nuggets out the way. All right. So, and let me wipe this down with. Okay, here we go. We made the macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving plate that I made. I don't know how many of you remember that, but I'm gonna do it again real quick. I'm gonna just make like a couple of macaronis and show y'all how to do it again. It's pretty easy. I know some people have tutorials on making macaroni and they use like plastic tubing, but honestly, it's so easy to make with clay. There's no reason for plastic tubing. So now when you're gonna make your clay, you can use like a cookie dough color, clear color. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, but I like to stick with like a little macaroni color. Like, this is not a macaroni color, but once I coat it, you're not gonna be really notice what's underneath. Okay, so you're gonna take your little bit of clay. Now if you're like me, you want to get something where you can measure each little macaroni to the size that you need. Now this is like a little clay, what they call this, it just measures like the amount of clay you're gonna use. I'll try to see if I find this on Amazon, but actually I got this from Temu, and I know a lot of people don't like shopping on Temu, but I do. I shop on Temu. I've been shopping on there for all right. But if you don't have this, say you have you could use this. Hold on one second. Measuring spoons. Take the smallest measuring you have, and some of these even come smaller than this. What size is this? This is a half a teaspoon, so my quarter teaspoon is missing. Use a quarter teaspoon, and you can measure your macaroni to the size that you want every time. Okay, you don't have to get this tool at all. Use a quarter teaspoon or use your hand. Listen, and I'm gonna roll it like this, right? Now you gotta roll it out a little bit because you're gonna bend it, and you want to make sure when you bend it that is like the full size of a macaroni. Okay, so you're gonna take it and you're gonna bend it like that. And then I got this like dotting tool, the ones that have the little ball at the end. See, this ball is too small, but this ball is just fine. And I'm just gonna take it and put it in there in the middle of that side, and I'm gonna come back over here and do this again. And now I got me a macaroni. Yep, now I got me a macaroni. Now let's do it again. Like I said, go to Dollar Tree or anywhere they sell those measuring cups, or you just want to get you some measuring spoons. Grab them. You're gonna roll. I roll it into a ball, and then I roll it into a log. Okay. Now I take it and I bend it, and I come with my dotting tool, and I make me a macaroni. Now, this is tedious because you're gonna need a lot of macaroni. So you're gonna be sitting there, do it while you're watching a show on TV, you know, anything like that, and just roll. Now, what I did was I got my plate out, and I kept measuring to see. I don't like this white plate because you can see like all the dust and stuff on it, even though I wiped it already, but I don't know. Okay, don't want no dust caught in my macaroni. Anyways, I made a bunch, as you can see in this little cup. It's not a lot. Then I took it and see if it fills up my little macaroni section, and it does. So I'm good with that. So now we're gonna make the macaroni sauce. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side, and I'm gonna put this over here. I'm gonna need this again to make the carrot and the peas. So I got me here's a disposable plate. I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna put this over here for a minute. So now you're gonna need you some macaroni colored paint. Now this is the paint that I found. Like, this is called Light Spice, but this is from Nicole's. I don't know if y'all remember AC Moore. That used to be the ones who sold Nicole, so you know how old this paint is. But Apple Barrel has a color that's kind of close to it. It's called King's Gold. So you want something that's kind of mustardy, orangey color. Okay, it's hard to see on this, but this is like a mustardy, and it is like orangey, like a fall color. Then you're gonna need some caulk, which I have right here. Then you're gonna need some caulk, which I have right here. This is Dollar Tree caulk. And I got this glue gun from the cheapest place I could find it, which was Walmart. Cause them glue guns are expensive, y'all. I didn't realize how expensive and I got these stoppers off of Amazon for the tube. So I'm gonna take some of this. Now you don't need a lot, okay? You really don't need a lot of caulk. I'm trying to grab it while it's, and then you stick this in there and you close it off, because this will get clogged up pretty fast. Now you are gonna need some Mod Podge. That's how I make it. Now if you just want to do Mod Podge and paint, you can. You do how this is the recipe for the drip that I make. Okay? But you don't want it to be too runny. You just want it to be enough to stick onto your macaroni. Not too runny, okay? So you're just gonna put a little bit of Mod Podge. And then I'm gonna take my Apple Barrel King's Gold, and I'm gonna put some in there, just a little. Okay, now we're gonna mix this up and see how it's gonna be looking. I'm gonna use a small craft stick to stir it up. Now you might be better at like coloring. I don't know if this even really looked like. Maybe I need to add a little bit more paint. Like, you want it to look like you know, the sauce for macaroni. Like, I'm talking about, now this not no homemade macaroni. This came from a box. Okay? Homemade macaroni gonna have a whole different look. And make sure you get all that caulk so you don't have any white spots. Now I'm gonna put a little bit more Mod Podge because I just want it to be a little, not too much. So I do want it to be a little more runny than this. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. Now listen, I do like realism, but I'm not an expert on like color mixing and stuff like that. I really am. I just try to find a color that matches close enough. For real, because If I keep on mixing and mixing and mixing, you know what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna mess the whole thing up. So now I'm gonna take my macaroni and I'm gonna put it in my sauce. Okay? Now just throw it all in there. Just throw it all in there. See, I got like, what is up with this plate? Yeah, I should have got another color, not white. Man, yeah, don't get white. So now you're going to take your macaroni and you're going to mix it in there. Now make sure you coat it. And if you mix it and it feels still a little thick, just put some more Mod Podge in there. Because it feels a little thick to me, I'm just going to put some more Mod Podge and mix that up until I get like how I want it to look. Okay? Now, if you want it to be a little more runny, if you like your macaroni with sauce on the bottom, then put more Mod Podge and make it runny. It's totally up to you. This is your plate. You make your plate however you want, honey. Okay, I think this is good. I'm about to get ready to put it on my plate. And like I said, I'm sorry this video is long, but you guys know I like going step by step. That's just the way I like to do stuff. Because I don't like watching a tutorial and they don't tell you like how they did this or how they did that. And then, you know, guys, if I missed something or if I said the wrong word, it happens. But if I missed a step or if you didn't understand what I was doing or how I did it, just leave me a comment and I will get back to you. So now I got to look at this plate one more time. Make sure I got all the dusty crusties off of it for the 5th time. So now I'm gonna take my, now be careful because you don't want to get like all of this filled up with your sauce. But if you do, let it dry and the next day you could peel most of it off. But let's try not to see, look, what is going on? Okay, I'm gonna try to put it in the center and then move it out, move it around. You know what, I'm dumb. I was supposed to do the peas and carrots first so I could use the same bowl. Now I gotta use another bowl. Now move your mac around, make sure you fill up your little spaces and stuff, you know. Knock some of that the noodles down. Now I like to get a toothpick and kind of go around and get some of those holes that I made and let them show so you can see the macaroni, you know. That's just me. This one got a hole, like, you know, just go around. Let them, and sometimes you gotta check because you may have a macaroni that didn't get coated well. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. You see how you got a little bit of the sauce on the edge right there? Leave it alone, let it dry. Tomorrow you can peel it off. I got some right there. You can peel it off. Now if you was making this macaroni for a grown-up, you could sprinkle a little bit of black sand on it to make it look like black pepper or whatever. Now if you find a spot that wasn't coated good, just put some more sauce on it. That's it. You want to make sure you get all your macaroni covered good. Okay, I think I'm good. So you know when you scrape it out of the bowl, it has scrape marks on it. So you want to make sure you get those scrape marks. Okay, I think we good. Now I gotta get another bowl and another plate because I'm a silly rabbit and I was supposed to do the peas and carrots first, but I didn't. And then use the same plate to make the macaroni, but I got so excited that I'm gonna put this to the side because I'm gonna show y'all how I made the peas and carrots. So the peas and carrots. Now, I use this mold to get the carrots. I was actually going to buy a mold from Etsy. But then I started thinking, Sin, you got a whole bunch of molds. Look through your molds, see if you find something where you can make your carrots. Because I did try to make them by hand, and you can. It's possible. But me, I'm always trying to look for the easy way out. So I stuffed orange clay into the crevices along this side. I don't know if I could find this tray on Etsy, because I think this tray came with something that I had bought, and the tray came with it. But if I find a mini ice cube tray maker on Amazon, I will link it. So I basically just stuck clay in these crevices, put it in the freezer, and then popped it out once it was hard enough to pop out. And that's how I got my carrots. But do you need to do that? No. No, you don't. Just get you some clay. Now, you want to make sure that you have your clay is even, okay? So, you're going to take out your clay, roll it between something that's going to make you have even clay, okay? My hands hurt right now, so it's hard for me to... But, let's do it. Because I want you guys to see that you do not need, but it's not getting smooth. Okay, now it's smooth. Because I don't want no lumpy looking clay. Okay? So now, get you, I got me a clay cutter. I could leave links to that from Amazon as well. They have a really nice set you can get like this. It comes with different types of... See, these got ridges. Then these are just plain cutters, okay? Like you can make french fries or something with that. I was thinking about making french fries, but then I went with the peas and carrots. So now you just want to go and cut. You just want to make sure you cut a nice, even... And then you're going to take that and you're going to cut down. Okay? And now you just take your... And you're going to cut squares. And you're going to... It's going to be rounded at the top. Smash it down a little bit. I like to... smash it on the edge like that, give them a more square look. And there go one carrot, and you just keep on going until you get as many carrots. Oh shoot, what am I doing? I rolled it into a ball. My brain is not working properly. Okay, so you take it, move this out the way. I like to smash it down a little bit, and then I like to just press the ends like that. Press it down, and then you got another carrot. Okay, you don't need a mold. No, you don't. Okay, and I definitely did not use a mold for the peas. Okay, I just took some green clay. Hold on a second. Took some green clay, which I got from Designs by Unita. I get my clay from her. Like I said, I'll leave a link below. She's always throwing sales, so she just had a $6 sale on clay. Okay, so now you're going to take your little green clay and you're going to just roll a ball. Now this is too big. That's why I like this tool. Because you get even sized ball. But you know, all the peas are not even. So I do have a mixture of sizes of clay. Of peas, I mean. And then you got your pea, right? So I do have different sizes. Like I used that small one, but now I went and made a couple of big size, because peas don't all come the same size. I mean, you do however you want. But look, it's easy to make peas. So, you can make that by hand. You can make the peas and the carrots. You can make everything by hand. The peas, the carrots, macaroni, everything. You don't need a mold. I just have it, so I used it, okay? So now, you're going to take your peas and carrots, and you're going to throw them in the bowl. And then you're going to get your Mod Podge. Now, you don't add a lot. You just want enough for the peas and the carrots to stick to each other. That's it, okay? Which I think that should be good right there. Because you don't want to be, like, have any, you know, of the drippings on the bottom or anything like that. You don't want that. So you're just going to take your, oops, see, I lost the pea. Come on. Now you want to make sure you coat each and every carrot and every pea, and because you want them to stick to each other. Okay, you want them to stick to each other. Now this is good, but I'm gonna just add another little drop. Not much. That's it. Because I really want them to stick to each other. Okay. And that's it. That's how you're going to put them on your bowl. And you're going to rearrange the peas. If there's too many peas on one side, you move them over to the other side. And so forth and so on. So let's get our tray back. And we're going to put our peas and carrots in there. Uh-oh. We don't want them touching the edge too much. Right? So we got our peas and carrots. Now you're going to mess around and make sure you get them peas and carrots to go with it. Child, what is up with these peas? Is acting crazy. Let me get a toothpick. So now, if you see that it got too many carrots on one side and too many peas on one side, move them around. Put them where you want them to go. I'm going to flatten it down a little bit because, you know, they kind of layered on top of each other. But there's too many peas there and not enough peas over here. So I'm going to move these around and bring these back over here. And move these peas on top of here. Like, what are y'all doing? Okay, I feel like there's too many peas over here. I'm going to move them around. And that's how you do it. You just move. These are stuck together good over here. They don't even want to move. Okay. Alright. There you go. I'm going to leave it like that. It's good enough for me. You don't want to move it around too much either because the colors start coming onto the carrots and we don't want that. So I'm looking at this macaroni here, and I see that I have a lot of macaroni. Like, I don't like the way that looks, but you don't want to mess with it too much because once it starts drying, and then you try to go back over it, and then it's not gonna be good. So now you want to get your glue gun, which of course I famously did not plug in, but luckily it gets hot fast. And while it's getting hot, we're going to talk about this food here. Well, this fake food. But it's pretty easy, guys. You can do everything by hand. Mold your macaroni. Mold your peas and carrots. Basically, the only thing you need a mold for is the Dino Nuggets. But if you're an artist, which I'm not, I'm a crafter. I cannot draw. I cannot paint with no paintbrush off the top of my head unless it's like paint my numbers or something like that. I am not an artist. But if you're good at that, go for it. You could even go online and print out like the shapes for the Dino Nuggets, which I'm sure should be some online. Cut it out, trace it out with a X-Acto knife, and then shape them You could do that too. I mean, there's options, okay? If you really want to make the Dino Nuggets. But if you want to order the cookie cutters, like I said, Evie Danae Creations on Facebook was the one where I got these Dino Nuggets from. So now, when you put your Dino Nuggets down, you want to see how they're going to fit. Because I kind of had a little issue trying to figure out how to arrange my Dino Nuggets. And I really didn't want them to go like this, but okay, see, I'm kind of having an issue now. Here we go. Let me see. And I put it like that because it kind of, I don't know, it's like a little bit perfect. But I want to get some. I might put, no, I think that's enough because it's basically like a kid's meal. So you just don't want to put too many Dino Nuggets. Plus, I don't want other Dino Nuggets on top of it covering up my Dino Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of did it like that. And I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to go with that. And once we glue these down, that's basically your Dino Nugget meal. And let's see if it's hot yet. Yep, it's already hot. That's why I like this glue gun. It gets hot fast. I'm gonna keep it like that so I can make sure, because you know the last time I did this I said, oh, that looks good, and I took them out and then I was getting ready to glue and then I can't remember which way I put them. So I'm gonna just leave them right there, and I'm gonna come and get my glue gun. And like I said, because these are going in a plate, I didn't put anything on the back side, any sand or anything like that on the back side, and just glue it down. Excuse me. So now I'm gonna cut on. No, I can't go. I don't want them to be upside down, so I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna glue this one next because I don't want to fight with them other two nuggets. So basically I'm gonna glue that one down, hold it down, make sure it glues well. Then you're gonna go to the next one. I'm probably gonna make a separate tutorial just on Dino Nuggets, okay? Because I know some people don't want to go like look at the whole tutorial and all that. It's too much for them, but I like to do the whole tutorial because I like to give everybody a breakdown of everything that I do and how I do it. And make sure you get them glue webs. So annoying. Okay, now we're gonna put the last nugget, and that's it. Okay, and that's it for the nugget. Hold it down, make sure it don't go nowhere. And guys, that's it. We finished our nugget plate. So let's go over a few things. The plate I got from Dollar General in the dollar section. Okay. The macaroni and cheese is clay rolled out and turned into macaroni. The sauce is Mod Podge, cork, and paint. I used King's Gold from Apple Barrel, but like I said, if you don't like the way this color looks, mix and match the color that you want your macaroni to look, and you know it'll be good. The peas and carrots is also air dry foam clay, just rolled into little peas, and then the carrots, I use the mold, but you don't need to use a mold. You can do it by hand. Now, the Dino Nuggets are my favorite thing on the whole plate. I always wanted to make the Dino Nuggets, and I finally got to make the Dino Nuggets. And like I said, you could cut them out by hand, you could shape them by hand, but I got these cutters from a seller, okay? And I'm gonna leave her name down below. And I got my clay from one vendor. If you guys want to go get clay from her, her clay is reasonably priced. And she also does sell 3D like goodies, candies and other stuff. But that's it. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple. Now the nuggets, they are layered. It takes time, a couple of days to get the nuggets ready to go. But if you take your time, they come out looking really nice and really good. And I don't know, like I said, if you wanted to, you can make Dino Nugget, like you can sell these Dino Nugget key rings if you do craft fairs, or if you want to sell them on your Etsy, you can do that. But like, remember what I said, you need to Mod Podge the last layer after you paint them. After you put your chalk pastel colors on them, these don't have it because it's not going to go anywhere. But I did do it on these because, like I said, they're going to rub on a backpack. They're going to rub on keys and things like that. And I didn't want the sand to come off. Okay, so that's why I did it like that. But like I said, I think I'm going to make a separate tutorial just on the Dino Nuggets. Because I think I'm going to turn it, I got a pair that I'm going to turn into earrings. So I'll probably do that. Okay. But anyway, guys, I know it's been a long time and I haven't forgotten about you all. And I'll be coming back. I got another tutorial that I'm going to make coming up soon. Okay, guys? So anyway, you know that I love you guys and I appreciate you all for sticking with me. And make sure you like this tutorial. Comment, please leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. You guys know I've been gone for a while and I need to make my way back, and the algorithm only reacts to people that are engaged with my tutorials and my posts and things like that. So if you could do that, if you could hype me up, that'll be awesome. I mean, I just appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you like this. Let me know what you think about it. I'll talk to you all real soon. God bless you guys. Bye.